Great afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another episode of Let the Madness Begin. William Coleman, Sean Taylor. It's a beautiful world we live in. Everything from people standing up for Ukraine, but they won't stand up for black people. But hey, it is what it is. I guess when someone who looked like you is in trouble, you're more likely to, love on them more than you are people who don't look like you. It is what it is. So, how you doing today, man?
I'm good, man. Aside a little recovery from this little procedure, I'm good, man. A little sore, but I'm good.
Okay. All right.
So you see little Kanye swelling in the cheek at the moment, so
Do the wire.
Yeah. Yeah, but other than that, I'm all right, man.
All right. So, I say we'll work our way up. So we'll start off with the developments in our series we call the William Effect. Will Smith.
Oh, okay. Hold up. Let me know what I did wrong. Okay.
So,
good point.
Jada doesn't need protecting.
No.
That's her words.
No, she never did. But go ahead. What's your point?
Do you think it's wrong? Well, first off, let's say this. No matter what we think about this,
do a recap first. Do a recap.
All right. So
for everything from the slap and everything after that.
So Will Smith, who by the way is very accomplished,
right?
The first rapper to win a Grammy,
right?
I don't think people really realize that.
That's a big deal.
That's a very big deal,
right?
I mean, he has one of the hottest songs of all time, "Summertime."
Right.
He has one of the hottest shows of all time, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the original, not the bullcrap that they're doing now, but the original.
Right.
He has one of the most iconic movies of all time, Independence Day.
Okay.
I was gonna say Bad Boys, but not Independence Day. So Independence Day. Yeah. He's nothing to sniff at. Like when we really think about it, Will Smith is nothing to sniff at all.
Right.
He's accomplished things on all fronts. Within the past 2.5 years, we witnessed the fall of a black man.
Okay.
By another black man, which I want us to talk about in this. Why do black men take pride in sleeping with other black men and women?
Oh, okay.
I really want us to take pride.
Okay, we can talk about that too.
He took a L. Probably one of the hardest L's because it played out in public.
True. I can agree to that.
So, fast forward it to about a week and a half ago. He heard a joke that you could say he found funny.
He did find funny. He laughed.
Yeah. The woman didn't find it funny.
Well, the person of the joke that was about.
Right, didn't find it funny.
The subject matter.
And he walked up on stage and he proceeded to slap Chris Rock.
Right.
And tell Chris Rock to keep his wife's name out of his mouth.
Yeah.
After that, whether or not you thought it was wrong or right, do you think Jada should have took more of a stance to say, I support him?
Yes. Because it was about her. She made it about her, even though, like I said, she was the subject of, in a matter of the joke, of a joke. Tasteful, distasteful. Either way, it was a joke. People laugh, he laughed, whatever. And for you to sit there and allow things, as much as she got what she wanted out of that moment, I'll be honest with you. And then after she saw the majority of the world was like, it was wrong, Then it turns into, okay, so how do I play this hand? Can you think about it? If this would have been 2.5 years earlier, if this would have happened, I don't think you'd get the blowback you're getting now, in a sense.
Because
The Me Too, the
Right.
whole, women standing up for each other. Not that they never have. It's now, it's just at that time it's more of a thing. So I think now it's getting to the point where it's starting to look, things are starting to level out now to like, wait a minute now. Yeah, he told a joke that he might have found distasteful. Your husband did laugh, and then your husband turned around and in his mind defended you, but you didn't step in this, back him.
So I have to revisit one of the things you brought up when we first talked about,
Go ahead.
which is toxicity.
Yeah.
So now, after hearing her comments, seeing that her daughter even's not, well, that's going to be a whole nother topic later on about the daughter. But seeing how everything's played out now, me personally, I have to say you are absolutely 100% right. That is a toxic environment.
Okay. So you saw my point, though.
Yeah.
Okay, so you finally saw. Okay.
No matter what he would have done,
right,
it never would have worked in his favor.
Right.
He could, if he would have let it slide.
But the thing. No, go ahead. Finish what you were saying. Go ahead.
If he would have let it slide, then there would have been an issue.
Right.
If he would have did it behind closed doors, it would have been the issue. He was in a no-win situation.
True.
We see that a lot in the Black community,
right?
Where Black women will run off at the mouth to get a Black man killed. How many Black men have lost their lives behind a woman running her mouth?
Whether it's truth or false, whatever's been said, it's a common theme.
That's what Jada did.
Yeah.
She put Will in a position to do that. Now Will is in a position to lose. And the one thing you could have done, you didn't do by backing him.
No. But the thing about it, I saw that coming. And that's why I say what I said. Because you think about it, she could have made a statement that evening.
She could have.
That same evening it happened. But you think about it, almost how long after that you got a statement from her?
Yeah, it's been about a good week and a half.
Right. Man. And here it is going on, and we're still talking about it. It's always like whatever I told you, this is gonna be a subject matter for the next a few more weeks until something greater happens.
Yeah, it's about to happen because Miss August Alsina, I call him Miss because only a female write a tell-all book.
Right.
I don't care what he say. They be like, he's from New Orleans. He's still a bitch. What man writes a tell-all book? Tell-all book on himself. August is going to tell on
put his business out there.
Yeah, because
you know it's going to sell.
Yeah, because you just because you're on drugs and you can't do nothing else with your life.
Right.
You're a piece of shit.
And your career's over.
Yeah, exactly. You won't come out with a song now. Nobody cares about you, August. You know what? I would say something, but I don't want nobody to say nothing. I'll say this, August. You are the type of person that if you was to pass away today, I don't think nobody would care.
Okay.
You are a piece of crap. And I don't, what happened.
Right.
But now you created a area where this man's going to tell everything, and he's not going to paint Jada in a great light either.
No.
She's going to fail in this. But here you have two men whose lives are ruined. Matter of fact, three men, Chris, Will, and August, whose lives are ruined behind one female.
True.
What is the end result? What's the end game for her? Like, I'm really at this point, I don't know if anybody really realizes she's operating in.
You know what I feel is going to happen within the next year or two. You're gonna see them separate.
I hope so.
I think I got a feeling it's going to happen.
And Will gonna be beloved. And
Yeah,
everybody's going
because you think about it, how it got done. It's like she pretty much left him out there drifting. So this man did not know what to do or to say. You know, this is Will Smith, a man who always had something to say, always had a way to address things, no matter how little or how great. He had a way of always having the right thing to say at the moment.
I agree with
the
that.
one time he made the worst choice, the worst way to express, you know, or to defend, or however you want to call that moment. He had no. You think about it, even when he addressed it, even when he accepted his award, he made that speech.
Yeah.
You know, that was more of a cop out. But like you said, he had nothing. Think about it. He didn't plan to walk on stage and slap another black man.
No, he didn't.
You know, that he was maybe about 80, 75 pounds heavier than, about maybe 6 inches. You know what I'm saying?
I don't like that.
But even still, but I just, but you,
no,
but you
I
look
get,
at it in a
I
sense
get
though.
it.
But it's not to sit there and make Chris Rock the, you know, because Chris Rock is not a he's not that type of guy, you know. And it was to say he couldn't hold his own, but he knew he was cognizant of the moment of where he was at, you know. So that's why he kind of maintained. People understand. Other communities say, yeah, I would have this, and other, but at the same time, Chris Rock's got to think about down the road.
Right.
This watch. It's gonna be the biggest, probably the best thing that probably ever happened to the man.
Oh yeah,
in his career. You know, and not to say that he had a bad career or anything like that. It's just like it's not gonna hurt him. It's gonna more or less help him.
No, I agree with you.
It's gonna put him in a stronger position to negotiate. You know, because you know, and it makes his brand. You know, come on. So, but I mean, but for him, but I think. Yeah, I just feel sorry that, you know, I feel sorry for Chris that it happened to him, you know, and I don't feel sorry for Will that in a sense he's still kind of out there and he's trying to find his footing, you know.
I feel sorry for Will, but I'll address why I feel sorry for him because I think it ties with Russell Wilson, and I do believe that we have an issue within the Black community, and those two are prime examples of why we have an issue in the Black community, because both of them suffer from the same thing, and I think Will just got tired.
Okay.
So we'll move on to your man, Cam Newton.
Hey man.
And I'm a big Cam fan, and I think, you know, he still got some football left in him. I like Cam. I think he's awesome. But he made some comments about women because he's not playing football. He needs something else to do, and you know, and I don't personally, I don't think nothing was wrong with his comments. However, I do think, and I have to give some other people like Black Belt Advice TV credit, because sometimes you have to sit there and you have to think, wait a second. I hear what's coming out your mouth, but are you practicing what you preach?
Right.
So Kim came out and said, you know, women, he don't want no balls. He wants a traditional woman. You know, women need to be more traditional. He went down that line.
Right.
Kim got like 7 kids.
Yeah.
By different women.
Right.
None of them he married.
Okay.
So why is he even talking about a traditional woman? Matter of fact, I think all of them were strippers.
I mean, the traditional that they were strippers. I mean, the tradition. I mean, he was consistent. They were all strippers.
No. I mean, I'm not knocking. It just made me really think like, but it screamed to a bigger issue with in the Black community, especially these Black men who want to get up here and give relationship advice. Y'all not living that life.
Yeah. And I agree with what you're saying, and that's a lot of things, and that's why a lot of times we say. I think that's why we're careful about what we say, because if we're not practicing it, why even suggest it? You know, or we're not even in line of what we're saying. You know, that's like me telling you, hey, you know, say your prayers, do this and other. You know, but I barely go to church.
Right.
You know, or hey, you need to drink water every day. You need to be drinking water, consistently drinking, and eating well. But every time you see me, you know, I got a cheeseburger in one hand and chocolate shake. You know, the only thing I probably drink that resembles water is Gatorade. You know, and yeah, we do that often. We like to hear ourselves talk, and then not just as black men, not just as men. Period. I think a lot of times we feel like we're saying the most wise and intelligent, witty thing sometimes to be break some ground with what we're saying, you know, and we're not thinking about, okay, wait a minute, am I practicing what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, am I sitting here telling you that, hey, you should be married when you have kids, before you have kids, you know, you and your wife, you know, but I'm running around here making babies with 2 and 3 different kids, different kids, I mean, girls out there. And that's the thing I don't like when any man, black, white, or whatever, when they do that. You like you said, you're not practicing, you're not preaching what you're practicing.
Right.
You know, you're not speaking what you walk. You know, you're not standing in the same path as which you speak, of which others should be walking. You know, the same thing like you say about preachers and everything. You know, hey, they preach the word and everything, but they're not practicing the word in which they profess. Is how they supposed to be handing down to the flock.
It's funny you use the comparison because are these the new age preachers? They think about this, and I want people to really think.
You can look at it that way.
They have a flock,
right?
They get money,
right?
And they give you whatever advice that they don't practice.
But the question is though, is it leading you down the right path? Because my thing is because the people that agree what he's saying, are they in the same position as Cam Newton? Cam Newton is a millionaire, regardless of how we may feel playing football. Now he's rich. He's pretty much set for life. So he pretty much can do whatever he wants.
I think that's the problem because he can afford multiple baby mothers.
Exactly.
However, these other men can't. And one thing that he said in his interview, and it made me take a hard look at myself, is he was explaining because the woman he was talking to actually asked, I think it was Brittany Reiner. She asked him, so why haven't you had a wife?
Right.
And he made his little dance around it, trying to blame the woman. But he said something that really made me realize, as men, especially black men, we really are messed up. He said, she wasn't ready at the time, but it doesn't matter. Did you propose to her? No, you didn't.
Because it's just a proposal. You don't mean to get married right away.
Yeah, but you didn't even attempt to propose or anything.
Right.
But you gave this woman 4 kids. You didn't give her no ring. And now you're like, y'all in a good space and she could go on and, be with another man. What other man is going to take on a woman with 4 kids? You literally said that as
what? It'd be the man that says, you know what? You collect them alimony checks, them child support checks from Cam. I'll just be here in the cut. That kind of man.
Exactly. So you really would never have a man.
No.
So you literally gave a woman, at least one of your baby mothers, 4 kids. Right. You're not going to be with her. Right. And you expect her to move on with her life.
Right.
You get to move on with your life and produce more kids.
And then possibly find that one woman who has no kids, has a good career or whatever, and you starting from scratch. You start from a clean slate.
Now she's sitting here like, you with your kids.
Right. But it goes back. But remember what I said. Sometimes we feel we're saying the most groundbreaking, uplifting thing in the world. Women too, men and women, we feel like we're doing it, and we get ahead of ourselves and we start saying stuff like that we don't think about, because she had a right to ask that question. I didn't see the whole interview. Okay, so why do you propose to the girl? You gave her, you get 1 kid, she stuck with you. You had other kids. You gave her kid number 2, she's still stuck with you. Number 3, still probably have a kid somewhere up in the mix. No ring. Kid number 4, she going with her life now? You're right. What man? Like I said, a man that sees, okay, I don't need to marry you. You got 4 kids. You got Cam Newton taking care of you. I just live off you.
And that's and I think that's where my issue with what he said. So we could sit back and be like, was he wrong about traditional women?
No,
well, he wasn't wrong. But one thing my grandmother said, which I have to give her props on this, is she said, you can't ask a woman for something that you don't have already set up. You can't say you want a
Okay.
traditional woman, but you ain't got a house. See, Cam Newton
Right.
is different. He's a
Right.
millionaire.
Right.
You got people who still living with their mama talking about I want a traditional woman.
But even you look with traditional women, you can still build with a traditional woman.
Right.
You know, but at the same time, you know, I understand what he's saying about the whole boss girl lady.
Yeah,
boss
I
fee
get
thing.
that.
The thing is, y'all go be on the same page to build. You always got to be on the same, because if she's coming with something, you coming with something, and that's the thing. And that's one thing we need to talk about always is it's always what you bring to the table. If you look yourself as a boss, and whether you're male or female, and you out there looking for a mate, you got to consider your candidates. You know, at the same time, what do you want? Are you willing to sit there and have somebody come to the table with nothing at all?
Right.
Are you like I said, so you have the house, you have the car, they have a car, they live in an apartment. You know, they have a business though. Okay. Is that acceptable? Or let's say they just work a regular 9-to-5 job. They work at McDonald's and they don't have a car, no transportation. You know, it's all in what we want to accept. You know, like I said, when we say traditional, what do you mean by traditional? Because remember, tradition has been changed since the beginning of time.
Right.
You know, woman stays home, man goes out, hunts, brings back, kills, whatever. Woman cooks it, eats it, you know, provides, you know, nurtures the house. To the point now, it's like, okay, both parents work. Both parents, you know, I mean, both parties work. Both parties are working towards something. You know, whether it's a, you know, retirement, a future, or whatever. You know, and then, like I said, the definition of tradition changes so much because, like you said, all the Cam's baby mamas are strippers. He says the tradition of being with strippers. So, I mean, is that a traditional woman for him?
And I have nothing.
You know what I mean?
I don't have no issues with that.
She's a working woman. I mean, like I said, and you can be. And the crazy thing is, you can be a boss, whatever. It doesn't mean you have to own everything. It's just you in charge of what you got going on in your life, in a sense, in my definition.
You know, and you know what's funny, and this is the funniest thing I found, and you just mentioned it, and it makes Cam is a millionaire,
right?
He could choose to be with anybody else, but all black men, well, mostly black men who are millionaires, and especially in the entertainment and sports, always choose to impregnate strippers or Instagram models.
True.
You have the opportunity to meet any educated woman.
And
this is not a knock on them. No, this is not a knock on them. But however,
you pick the most easy, accessible.
Exactly. You in a room full of people, but you go to another room, where you're the biggest fish.
Right.
I wonder why.
Because, like you said, you know, you're the best swimmer in the kiddie pool.
That's what it is, honestly.
And you're 10 years old.
Yeah. And that's crazy to me because you're in room with women who are on your level a little bit higher.
He stop there. He played where? In Charlotte.
Yeah.
It's plenty of professional women.
Yeah.
In Charlotte.
Yes.
He's from Atlanta. What we call Black Wakanda in America.
Yeah.
The ratio of professional single women to single men is ridiculous.
Right.
So you can't mean to tell, like you said, I think he said that because, in a sense, they make him feel insecure. In a sense, and unintelligent and uneducated. Because Cam has his moments. I'm like I said, you know, he has his moments.
Yeah,
he has his moments where, okay, so what in the world would you want to say something like that? You know, do you put any thought into what you did or what you were saying? No, you just said it because you're Cam Newton and you're Cam Newton.
People listen.
Yeah, you know, people like, you know, the how you call it, the hot takes.
True.
You know, so you know, he thought he was. In my opinion, I think in his mind of minds, he thought he was saying something groundbreaking,
No, you're
something
right.
revolutionary, You know, something that's never is like it hasn't been said before. Because I still think it's ignorant for anybody to say. Because you know, did he go into definition about what he thought was a boss or what he thought was?
Well, he said, a woman who talks back, who's worried about getting the bag and this and third. He said a traditional woman. He used his parents, and even that was brought up by Black Male Advice TV, in which I have to give him credit. He said, "You sitting here and you congratulating your parents for being together for all these years, for your father laying down the foundation, showing you what a real man is, but you went opposite."
Right.
So, in other words, and I had a female tell me this one time. She said the difference between men and women is the fact that men get to reset.
True. That's very true.
We always get to reset.
Yeah, we always get a clean slate, regardless. Yeah.
The woman won't, because if she has a child,
that's it.
It's done.
Yeah.
Cam Newton got 7 kids.
Right.
By at least I want to say 3 different women.
I
know he got at least 4 by one.
Right.
That you're not with.
Right. But like you said, he gets a clean slate.
Yeah. So he could get online and talk to these other men and be like, yeah, you should get you a traditional woman. Bro.
Are you gonna get you a traditional woman?
So you telling me every woman, go ahead.
No, go ahead, finish that. Go ahead.
Every woman you got with wasn't the one that you really wanted, but you still felt the need to impregnate them.
Right. Hey. They were traditional. Hey, like I said, they were traditional in the sense that, she's a stripper, she's a stripper, she's a stripper, she's a stripper. That's a tradition. That's traditional as he got with it.
I believe that. It's just crazy to me. Like, when I think about it.
And I think the crazy thing is people. There's nothing wrong, because you could still be a boss and be traditional.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand how that does not correlate. Like, okay, well, no, one doesn't take away from the other. You can be now necessarily like you mean traditional as, like he said, his parents are together, mom stayed home and whatever. I mean, what is tradition nowadays? What is the tradition nowadays? Because nowadays, same-sex marriages. What is the tradition to you, according to Cam Newton? I mean.
Either way, he had the means to put one of the women in a house and have her stay home.
He can. They all can stay home.
So that lets you know that he's full of crap.
Yeah, and that's what I just go back to what I'm saying. You thought you were saying something so profound and groundbreaking. Why did you marry any of these women?
And I just hate that, because there are men out there who will listen to that,
right?
And they'll go out here
and back them up on that
and be like, yeah. And I'm like, first off, if he ain't married a woman yet,
right?
What does that tell you? And I'm not sitting here saying you have to marry a woman, but something that does make sense. How can we, and this goes for me, because I did it myself. How can we give a woman a child but not give her a ring? How can we make the ring so important? Like, to get this ring from me, you have to be but we willing to go
give her
a baby, like throw caution to
which costs way more than
exactly.
The ring.
Like, we don't even realize that. And if it goes south, it could
it's gonna be way more expensive. And like you said, you're very aware of how expensive it gets. But I mean, it's just like I said, we sit there as people where, like I said, we think it's so profound. And so, I didn't think of that. Like, mind blowing. Like, and you look like, please sit your ass down somewhere. Like you said, how many kids you got? How many rings did you offer to them? I mean, like marriage rings, not rings to wear, to the club or something like that. But
yeah. Did you give them a promise ring?
Onion rings or something? I mean, that's just we. It's just we're in these times. It's like we feel that these people we look up to are saying the most greatest things to make life easier and to make things, go right in life.
Right.
Like, okay, well, Cam said this, and you know what? He must be right because he's where he is. But no, Cam is where he is because Cam had a specific talent.
Right.
Got put him in a specific space to do what he specifically is doing now. Because he necessarily have to play football for the rest of his life.
That's true.
So he can do as many of those podcasts as he wants for the rest of his life, say the same thing repeatedly, and it's not going to bother him. But suppose if you or I were to say something like that, it's not going to work that way.
Nah,
It doesn't work in our favor that way.
exactly.
So, and that's all I need to say about Mr. Because I think it's BS. I'm just saying, like I said, it's BS. I think there's nothing wrong being traditional. There's nothing wrong being a boss. Nothing wrong with being whatever you feel. Just as long as you're comfortable with it. As long as you're good with it. That's my thing. What are you good with? You know, if you're good with being just a baby mama, fine. You good being a boss lady or whatever your boss be, and you want to run things, because I think you're a boss, you're in charge of what's going on in your life, you know. And I mean, in charge, it's not things are you're doing different things. It's like you actually have a hold of what you got going on, your focus and your direction. You know,
Right.
if you decide to stick with your career and work your career, or you decide to do your career and do a side business and, you know, try other things, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, it's just, I don't know, man. I think I think that the whole thing with titles nowadays we're too invested in titles.
Yes, I do agree with you on that. So speaking of that, so we have the opposite of Cam, who is Russell Wilson. So we know that he married Sierra.
Right.
And, you know, ever since he married Sierra, everybody's been clowning, and all black men been clowning him. Oh, you know, you married a woman with a child. Mind you, now the opposite of that is Cam Newton, who's sending women out there with children.
Right.
Future, who sent, happen to be Sierra, one of them,
Right.
who's sending women out there with children. Now, I'm not just saying like they all got multiple baby mothers, so they're sending these women out there with children, but nobody wants to call that out. But that's that's part of black men's plight. That's our issues in our community. But recently, you know, on a podcast, you know, they said that, you know, Russell, he's a cornball and this, that, and third. And, you know, Sierra's only with him for his money. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, why is it that as black men, we have to tear each other down? Because when I look at Russell Wilson, I don't know the inner dynamics of his relationship. They look beautiful together. They look happy. They got kids together. Right. It is what it is. Why should I take shots at him? Because he's not trying to produce baby mothers. He's not out here trying to produce criminal records. Why is he a cornball? What makes him a cornball? What makes this black man who has tried to live?
Because he don't relate to the people that said whatever they said about him. In a sense that there's no familiarity in his path. You know, for instance, like you said, the football player that came from a broken background, you know, daddy was God knows where, or in and out. Mom was working on drugs or whatever, or however the situation may work out. You know, you had this talent, somebody believed in you. You played football, you got to high school, college saw you went to college. Somebody in the pro team saw you were worthy enough to be picked or signed on. They picked you on, and in a sense, his path, Russell's path, is necessarily not the same path. You know, and I think, and he doesn't carry himself. Like I said, he doesn't, because even they mentioned that when he was when they were the Legion of Boom and Seattle Seahawks, there was no relation when it came to those teammates that were considered the Legion and Russell Wilson, you know, even though they were teammates. And I think that's the same way we look at each other nowadays. At all times we look at each other, it's like, okay, so there's something about you. You're a good guy, but for some reason, I just don't want to connect with you. And it's because, okay, well, yeah, you know, and I think that's what it is. You know, there's no familiarity for him to really connect and understand, or just be cool with why he's with Sierra, in my opinion.
Right.
Because you think about it, it's like, okay, well, so what, he decided to take on Future, but Future wasn't Future at the time. You know, he just started to get his rise. And actually, it helped Future.
It did
elevate a little bit more.
It helped his career more so than what people want to give credit.
Yeah, people don't understand that.
And it's not like she was broke.
No, she was never broke. Like she's accomplished.
Yeah.
She had 2-3
Yeah.
good hits.
Yeah, she that so it's not like
So she had a solid career. She really didn't have to do anything else. If she wanted, she could just do concerts with the 3 good songs that she had for the rest of her,
and just dance
you know, and look pretty.
Yeah.
And put out a whack album or something. Somebody's gonna, whatever. She can do that. Like, people don't understand that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, people gotta understand in the beginning who Sierra is. And that's the thing they try to play her. They try to play her as if she's one of them IG or them stripper chicks.
Right.
She never was like that. Because you think about it, if people remember when she came out, she put out that song, right?
Mm-hmm.
She was a virgin at the time. Everybody swore up and down. She said, no, I know how to act like that. Until she got with Bow Wow. Of course, Bow Wow put it out there that he did his thing. Because she, like I said, she was taught to be the traditional.
Yeah, I had that conversation with someone. And I talked about that. I said, she dated Bow Wow.
Yeah.
And I said, she was actually serious about Bow Wow.
Exactly.
And she really wanted to be with, but he didn't. He wanted to be messy and everything.
Right.
And so with her, I do agree. I think she's very traditional.
Right.
She wanted to be married.
Right.
And
which is not a bad idea.
No. And she was with 2 men who didn't want to marry her. Just so happened she had a baby by 1.
Well, she actually been with 3. They say 50 was in the mix too. But yeah, but
3 men that did not want to marry her.
Still. Yeah.
Yeah.
But number 4.
But he did.
Right.
And why should he have to endure this thing with black men, like, oh, because you didn't grow up this way, or because you don't talk this way, you're, chilling with you with your money? And it's like, well, if that's the case, then you being an ex-football player, is your wife with you for your money?
Exactly.
I mean, are you projecting? Or how I always say, what as black men, what it is the fact that you really wanted her and she didn't want you. So your money wasn't big enough for her.
Could be possible.
And I think that's where my issue is. But the reason why I said it reflects with Will Smith, they both suffer from the same thing, which is identity.
Okay.
In the black community. Will Smith slapped Chris Rock because he's been facing an identity crisis throughout his whole career. He's been made fun of his whole career, from rap to the Fresh Prince to now. No matter how accomplished Will Smith has always gotten, he's not hard enough. Then the comparison to Tupac, which, by the way, I love Tupac music, but the truth of the matter is Tupac was the fakest man on earth. He conned everybody to think he was some, which is why he's dead.
Right.
He's dead because he was a con artist. Okay. He conned people. Tupac he went to this Juilliard school.
Okay.
And he was good in poetry. He did some dancing. Him and Mobb Deep wore tutus, as Jay-Z put it out. Yo, you really was a thug. Nobody seen you in the streets, Tupac. You have no street credibility whatsoever.
Right.
Yet and still, you're being held to a higher standard than a man who has accomplished more in life. And nothing that Russell Wilson or Will Smith could have ever done could have made them black enough.
No. But the thing about it is, we start pulling the black card on people in general. Because my thing is this: if we always say different shades, hues, pigments, that should be the same way when it comes to our attitudes, the way we talk, the way we carry ourselves, the way it should apply the same way. Because I've known people that's darker than me. They the minute you walk up to them, you expect them to talk like they're from off the street.
Right.
They talk more proper than the whitest white man in the world. You be like, okay, it throws you off for a minute.
I agree.
But it doesn't take away from them looking at him as a fellow black man, or looking at, I don't look at them as a sellout. I don't look at that as and that's the thing, like I said, we need to stop identifying ourselves with the whole negative connotations of us having to always have to speak with ebonics or be our words be pronounced word properly, the enunciation, the whole. You know, it's like I said, we got to accept what's in front of us instead of sit there always expecting me to like the same things. Like people will look at me crazy because I don't like sweet potatoes and yams. I don't eat pork.
Okay, the pork thing is
you know what I'm saying?
understandable, yeah.
But I mean, but
But
that's
you do
just
like watermelon though.
okay. And I like fried chicken, but I don't drink soda or water soda. So I mean, what the fuck?
I mean, grape soda be dope in the summertime.
When I was younger, I used to love grape soda, but for some reason, it's just it tastes like medicine. For some reason, as it got older, it started tasting more like
Yeah, a lot of that.
you know what I'm
stuff
saying, like
started-
Dimetapp. It started tasting more like Dimetapp, and I just couldn't. It just wasn't me no more. I'll be honest with you. So I mean, yeah, you know, I mean, like, yeah. So I mean, it's like we need to stop doing that to ourselves because you know why? They've been doing it too long. We allowed others to do it for so long. It felt acceptable for us to do it amongst ourselves. To the point now, they just sit back and just, hey, y'all have at it. Because y'all gonna tear each other down before we have to tear you down.
That's
you know what I mean?
topic we're gonna
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Did you think about it nowadays? You think about it. Think about it.
That's what we do.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Think about it. Because think about what happened with the thing we talked about at the beginning. The Chris Rock and the Will Smith thing. Who had the most say about it than we did?
Yeah.
Either we was with it or we weren't with it. Before outside people, outside spoke.
I agree with you. And
I
said,
like I said,
protect it.
We quick to sit there and watch and listen to what you know, but at the same time, we got to have understanding and acceptance that hey, that's their opinion. That's what they want to say. That's what they want to do. That's how they want to carry themselves. You know, because like I said, I you know, I think it's great that this man, black man, no matter how he was raised, whatever, decided he was dating this girl for however many months, decided to marry her, even though she had a child by an up-and-coming famous rapper at the time. Regardless of what their status, because at that time he pretty much cut her off.
Right.
So I don't see what the problem is. You know, like you said, she didn't have a clean slate. She came into the picture with a child.
Right.
You know, he's just coming out of a previous marriage. I'm not sure if he kids or whatever. So like you said, he came with a clean slate.
Yeah.
Regardless of what he left behind.
That's true.
You know, but you look at him as a cornball because she went from somebody who, mind you, probably had other kids prior to them even meeting. And is known to have other kids, and she just fell into the mix and
got one pregnant right after it. Like,
yeah, you know what I'm saying. So, who's the real cornball here? Because I admire the guy. I mean, hey, that's what he chose to do. Because what if would have been the other way around?
You know what's funny? And I'm gonna pull it up. But there is a statistic out there that says black women have more children than black men.
Right.
And what it's saying is that black women are getting pregnant more by the same black man. And that right there is scary enough. Just Future got 9 baby mamas.
Yeah, because what if Sierra had 9 baby daddies?
Yeah.
You know,
definitely wouldn't be touched by Angel.
So you know what I'm saying? She up and coming singer or whatever. She got 9 kids. Come on now.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, she's just the most wonderful individual, and she decided to take and he.
Nah. So let's go down this old town road with our home skillet, Little Nazi. How did he get his name? Like, what made him chose to be Little Nas X?
I don't know. When you get an interview, when you ask him that question, I think there's. I forgot the reason why he picked Nas X. I think Nas was one of his favorite rappers.
That's fair. I mean, that's dope. I mean, you don't rap like Nas, but that's dope. Yeah. But you probably could rap like Nas, but I understand. So he tweeted that straight men are acting more gay because, and I'm paraphrasing it, because we're sharing our feelings now. And I caught the story off of this guy, content creator.
Yeah.
And I caught the story off of him. And one of the things that was brought up is the fact that how can you say something like that when truth of the matter is straight men are not allowed to be straight. And I owe you an apology.
What's that?
A couple of months ago, we had a conversation and we were talking about the openness of homosexuality in shows, and you said, and I'm probably paraphrasing and correct me if I'm wrong. You was like, it's two out there now, and I came at you like, well, it shouldn't matter. Fast forward it, I owe you an apology because not only is it too much out there, but it is becoming so much as a norm that you're starting to see it in TV shows that won't even portray straight relationships anymore.
Right.
If I was a homosexual, I would feel disrespected.
Honestly, yeah.
I would feel disrespected. I will feel like this is going too far. For me, that tweet, first off, it states that you must not really be gay. And I'm thinking that that's the problem here. And I know that sounds weird, but I'm starting to think that there's a lot of people who are in these gay spaces or homosexual spaces that are not really homosexual.
Could be possible.
They're just kind of like with Post Malone. They gravitated to what was popular and they're able to use those stereotypes.
Yeah.
No gay man should ever come out their mouth and say straight men are acting more gay than gay men, because that don't make sense.
No, it don't.
Because they're sharing their feelings.
Right.
In a society where women say what? Why don't you talk to me?
Right.
I can't tell you how many relationships I've been in where I had a woman just look at me and be like, I just don't know what's going on with you. And yet, if I share my feelings, then I have to be considered gay. It's not the tweet that bothered me. It was when they was reading the comments.
Okay.
And you see black women agreeing with it.
Do what?
Yes, black women. Like, yeah, these big black men out here, yeah, they sensitive now, this, that, third. Mind you, if I tell a woman she's beautiful, I'm thirsty.
Right.
Which I'm supposed to tell a woman she's beautiful.
Right.
But if I do, I'm thirsty.
True.
If I look at, I gotta be thirsty. If I look at a woman, I'm eye raping her, which is actually a thing, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it is a thing. It's real.
No.
You can be eye raping. If you look at a woman, you're eye raping her.
Oh, okay.
If I say anything that has a male sounding tone to it, I'm being abusive.
Oh.
If I sit up here and I say that I'm straight and I love women, being misogynistic. So in a society where being a straight male is bad, and I know people be like, that's not true. Think about this. Before you argue, let's look at it. Think about how they do straight men. Think about how they treat straight men. Think about how if a straight man says something, he's ridiculed for it. Look at it this way. A transsexual tried to kiss Genuine and he didn't want to.
Right.
They call him transphobic.
Right.
So if I can't be straight. So to attack me because I'm in a society that keeps telling me that I should open up more. And then when I decide to open up more, now you calling me gay. What does that say about how you view gayness, by the way, or homosexuality? Because
it sounds like somebody's confused, and it sounds like somebody who said, like I said, he falls in the same boat as Cam Newton. I said the first thing that came to my mind is so profound. Like, what gay man? Who were you talking to for you to say that? Who were you around? Like, what do you? And that's what's the thing. What is going on at the time for you to want to say things want to say the things you want to say in that manner in front of a camera or on social media? That doesn't, like you said, you're not saying anything profound. You're not saying anything. It's nonsense. Like you said, what do you mean by gay? You're homosexual. You're gay. So
that's my point. Like literally, like you're gay.
So
how can I be gayer than you?
Right.
Like
right.
I don't understand that. So
and then for women to sit there and it's the blind leading the lane,
and that's the issue. I could care less what Lil Nas X says at the end of the day because he's gonna say what he can say to sell anything. That he's a prostitute. He'll do anything for money.
Come on, man.
He really would. But when I see black women sitting up in here talking about, yeah, you're right. When I know for a fact, if I sat down there and asked them what man is sitting there telling you their feelings, they couldn't tell me one because black men don't tell their feelings. Like, let's be real.
Huh?
If a black woman gets to hear a black man's feelings, y'all are in the deepest relationship on God's green earth.
Good point.
Hell, James Evans was working 3 jobs and never showed emotions except anger on Good Times. As much as Bill Cosby talked on the Cosby Show, he never shared his feelings.
True.
Uncle Phil only showed anger.
True.
So even in the midst of TV shows that had strong black leads in them, they wasn't out there sharing feelings. Like they wasn't doing that. So first off, you brought it up earlier, and I think this is a good segue to it. There's a problem in our community. There's a deep-rooted issue or a new doctrine. I say it's a new doctrine that says black men and black women have to be separate because we are at a point where black men don't want to build with black women and black women don't want to build with black men. We have drawn a line in the sand. And I use the word we, but I know it's not everybody, but I like to use the word we. It's drawn in the sand. You have one side who wants to prove that they're adults, and that's black women. That's what it is. For black women tell me she independent, I'll be like, what makes you independent? I got my own house. Congratulations, you're an adult. I work. Congratulations, you have joined society. You are really doing some groundbreaking. I own my own business. So does a lot of other people. I don't know what makes you independent when that just makes you an adult. Right. For black men, I'm not out. I don't want to get with these women, this and third. So you're a virgin. So congratulations, you gave up sex or you masturbate to porn. Congratulations. At the end of the day, congratulations. But we have drawn a line in the sand, and it is to prove to the opposite sex that we don't need them.
Which is the wrong answer.
What society has sustained itself when the sexes do not work together? Because you brought up an interesting point. In the traditional sense of society, just basic traditional sense of society, the men were the hunters and gatherers.
Right.
The women took care of the home.
Right.
At that time, the homes were the communities.
Right.
So you would have one woman wash almost everybody's clothes.
Right.
You have women over here cooking. You will have women over here tending to the children. You have women over here tending to the little bit of vegetables and stuff they had in that camp.
Right.
While the men went out there, hunting, gathering, protecting, fighting. They're doing all that stuff.
Right.
Why? What happened for us to move away from that? And I get the part where now we're in a system where both people have to work unless one person has the greatest job on earth or decided to pick on multiple jobs to keep one home. I get that part. However, what changed to the point within the black community? Because it's only the black community that has this divide. Yes, other communities may talk about it, but we it's a badge of honor. If a woman has her own, it's a badge of honor. If a man has his own, it's a badge of honor. But I know I threw a lot out there.
But so let me back up to this. So it's and I'm gonna put it this way. for the black man to have his own, but in hand to ready to share with another mate. Nowadays, male or woman, male, female. Now it's taught to the female, in my opinion, to where I got this. I didn't need no man to help me get this. So then that's like you said, I'm independent. I don't need a man, which is always the wrong answer.
Right.
You should want a man in your life, or a mate in your life, but you shouldn't want them in order to acquire other things. It should be, and I think we take our accomplishments and our things and our goals, and in a relationship, regardless if it's male, female, mixed, whatever, it should be a thing that we should be pursuing together. And in a sense, we're being taught that, oh no, you should be trying to achieve these things on your own, so you don't need no. Because my thing is, if you do it on your own, and yeah, it's a great thing, but who are you going to celebrate it with? You accomplish that.
I got something to add to that, and I thought about it today.
You. Okay, cool. Darling, you got your own house, you got your business, you know, but are you happy? You know what I'm saying? Same thing for the black man. Dog, my guy, you got your degree, you got you're lost, you know, you got your law degree, you got your law business practice up and running, and all. By all means, but are you happy? You know, are you happy? You know, that's the thing, and that's the thing we're not looking at it. What makes you happy? Not according to according to what they say out there in the world. I should be out here, cool. Understand, black women, black girl, magic power, whatever, understandable. But keep in mind, though, witchcraft, whatever you want to call it, keep in mind. We complain about our village, but we're not attending to the village. But go ahead and say what you say, my brother.
Well, no. First, I was going to add something to the other part, but you're right. So we talk about generational wealth,
right?
And you brought it up. If we're not tending to the village, how can we have generational wealth? If I'm not building with the black woman, I'm not creating a generation.
True.
So, you know, am I leaving my money to the cat, to the dog? The state gonna get it. I mean, that, and I don't think these men understand. And just like I don't think these women understand when you say these things, like at some point in life, you have to understand that you can have everything and still be empty.
Right.
Rich people kill themselves every day.
True.
Keep it real. Rich people kill themselves every day.
They say they're the most miserable people around.
Like I had this conversation with my daughter, and she had made a statement, something about money will make her happy, and I said, well, rich people kill themselves every day. She said, but no, it'll make me happy. And I said, rich people kill themselves every day. I said, so before you think the money won't make you happy, no, it'll give you access to things, and
which you think will make you happy,
and an excess of a lot of things, but it will expose your true nature.
Yeah.
So I find, I find that funny when you said that, because we're not building no generational wealth. We're not building a legacy if we're not
building together. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're doing it separately. Wow. Like, what's this? And like I said, I'm cool with the whole movement, but at the same time, you separating yourself from what the true nature and goal, what it should be,
right?
What it is.
So here's the other thing, and it actually opened my eyes today. So Maya's 42 years old. Uh-huh. She's very beautiful.
Right. I
always thought Maya was beautiful.
Right.
She ain't got no kids. She ain't married.
I can give her the kid. We do a Cam Newton arrangement.
Black people have been celebrating black women, being like, oh, they're so beautiful, this and third, but they're single.
Well,
So I looked at and I thought about this. Like, think about a lot of the black women we grown up looking at, lusting after.
Right.
They're still single.
True.
Or baby mothers.
Right. Nia Long.
Tell me about. I'm sitting here thinking to myself like,
Sanaa Lathan.
Why are we looking at them like, oh, they're beautiful at age 42? At age 42, you should be settled down, happy in a marriage.
But well, Nia Long said she's been engaged several times. But I mean,
what's wrong?
She's engaged again though to the Celtics coach. So, I mean, they're engaged. They're engaged. They ain't say that.
Okay, that's fair. They're engaged at age 40. What?
I think she's a little bit older than me. So I think she's like 44.
That's the crazy part. These black women that we are seeing on Instagram, people like, oh man, look at how beautiful they are at age 40, age 45.
We go back to what we said before, though. Like you said, it may not be true in a sense. They may be empty in a sense to where, and a lot of times, because there are single men out here, but the single men that they may be looking for are not in the places, especially single black men are not in the places they be.
Okay.
A lot of times, I'll be honest with you, because you think about it. I mean, you might find Kim Newton at a strip club, but are you going to find Nia Long hanging in a basketball court?
No, unless she's with a date.
Right. Or like or Maya, you know what I'm saying? You might see, I can see Maya just, show up at the local club right here, just hanging out, looking,
right,
socializing. So, I mean, it's all, it could be it could be something with her preferences, what she's, looking for. And it's not to say you go out there and settle for any and everybody, it's just, what are you looking for out there?
And that's why I'm trying to figure out what's going on, because other black women would see that and look at how beautiful they are, but not look at the fact that they're alone. Like if, for instance, and I'll use Kevin Samuels in this situation. Oh, look at Kevin Samuels. He ain't got no woman.
How you ain't got no woman, man?
Because if you had a woman, number one, I tell people this, if you have a woman, you have, unless you're Skip Bayless, who has said things that I think he pays for when you get to the house, but it is what it is. If you have a woman, you are going to give her time, which means that you ain't got time to be doing this foolishness. Number two, if you have a woman and you're giving relationship advice, your relationship is the standard.
Right.
Or should be.
Maybe. How do we know?
Because if you have a woman, you will want to show her off. Men have always done that throughout history. We not saying it like Instagram type showing.
Oh, okay, I got you.
But men have always been the ones when they have a woman, especially if they feel like they have the woman,
right?
They will show her off in some capacity. They will make sure that they have some, even if it's once a year, they will make sure. Now, I'm not saying they'll be on the ground like that, but I'm saying that because men show off beautiful items, men will go wash their car. Men will power wash their house.
Right.
Men are known for doing things to beautify because they want. That's just who we are.
Yeah.
We get trophies.
Makes sense.
I mean, we get trophies.
Yeah.
There's no other reason to get a trophy than to show it off.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you have a woman, especially if you have the woman, you gonna put her in a position to show her off.
But my thing is, what is she complaining about? What is Maya's complaint? That she's single? Okay.
I don't think it's not that she's complaining that she's single. It's just something that I thought about is the fact that no matter how beautiful you are, you're still single.
Yeah.
No matter how beautiful Sanaa Lathan is, she's still single. No matter how beautiful Nia Long is, she's still engaged.
Yeah.
Halle Berry is divorced.
Two times.
Yes.
Two times, yeah.
White men. Well, no, three. Was it two white men? Then David Justice.
David Justice was first.
David Justice was first.
Yeah.
He did do her wrong. I will agree to that. He wasn't in the right mind, but it. I mean, I don't know. She may have stained vagina. We don't know. But the point is that as in the black community, we have this thing where they'll show black women and famous black women and be like, oh my God, like they'll show Erykah Badu. She has 3 baby daddies and never married one. 3 hot rappers, by the way, because you know she got Jay Electronica,
Yeah.
Common,
Right.
and Andre 3.
No, Comments. It's DLC. She have a baby with Common.
It's DLC.
Doc.
Okay, but she did that Common. Okay, DLC. My fault.
She did Common.
Dang, I forgot about the DLC.
Yeah.
So she had one of the hottest writers in God's green. So, but not married.
Right.
So it's and other black women will look at that and be like, I want to be like her. Why would you want to be alone? As we age, we're supposed to age with someone.
Grow with somebody.
Yeah, you're supposed to. And I don't think it's they understand that.
Well, it said it's something going on with that person. I'll be honest with you. It's not because like you said, we like to show beautiful things. You have the 3 most beautiful cars out there, and you ride your bicycle. You know, you have the most beautiful cheesecake sitting on your table, and you just look at it and never touch it. I know people that do shit like that. They just bake to just debate and just sits there. They just look at it. You know, they themselves don't touch it because it's their cake. They'll offer it all day, but they themselves won't touch the cake. You know, I mean, people like that. You know, it's just you know, it's something going on with that person that you're not connecting. You know, because you think about it when you know being married and married and all that stuff. You connect with somebody enough to want to, you started dating them or you got to know them enough to want to date them.
Right.
They want you to commit to them, to actually say yeah, I do and be married to them. You know, to say to somebody, I want to grow old with you. You know, the potential of us growing together is great. We're going to be married.
Right.
So, and that's the thing too, what kind of people are she dealing with, what kind of crowds? Because you meet people like that all the time. Like what's going on with the person to where you're not connecting with somebody to at least get a few dates in serious, you know.
Right. And I agree with you 100%. I do think it is a personal issue, but it makes me wonder, like, how have you not found someone? Or have you found people or people found you, but you don't? What is it that makes you feel like it is better to be alone? Because statistics, if we use statistics says that you will come across the person you're meant to be with.
Right.
So are you purposely pushing people away?
Could be.
What's the end result?
You've seen it now, they're by themselves.
So why are they being held up as beautiful when reality is they're not?
It's all the perception who says it. Remember, they always the saying, beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
True. And when I say beautiful, I'm not saying they don't look beautiful because I'm not going to sit up here and lie.
Yeah,
they look beautiful, but they're not. Because despite what anybody thinks, your beauty is stamped by a man.
Okay. Or women nowadays, you know.
Okay, fair enough.
By someone.
By
a companion.
By a companion, okay.
By a companion
I like
sorts.
that. Your beauty is stamped by that.
Okay. I can see that. I can see you have a good point with that. Okay.
So if you are just amazing, because you know, always say, you know, I'm amazing, I'm this and that, I got this and I got that. But if you don't have a spouse, is it the fact that you got all of this is the reason why you don't have a spouse? Because obviously what you have has not gotten you what you need.
True.
And we're not meant to be alone. We're not designed to be alone.
Good point.
No matter what your preference is, you're not designed to be alone. So if we're not designed to be alone, why are we forcing this in our community? And I say our community because you don't hear the white community really pushing that. Hispanic community definitely ain't pushing that. And no other community, every other community do push families.
Yeah.
We're the only ones
Push
that,
community.
yeah, we're the only ones that don't. Like, we, honest to God, we push you're independent and you're independent. And that's what we push.
Mm.
But then we want to talk about building generational wealth.
Right.
Legacies. Kingdoms.
Right.
You gotta have children to have a kingdom.
True.
You gotta have children to have a generation.
Yeah.
Despite what your preference is, these things have to happen.
True.
Unless you're gonna have the richest cat in the world.
Hey.
And I will be the caretaker. The cat has to have a Bentley. And I'll make sure I get the Bentley. The mansion, the heated floors.
Yeah.
And the Instagram models, because the cat needs to be entertained.
Hey. I like it. I like that concept.
Oh man, it's just something that I've really been thinking about. And you know, I always say sometimes we're not always supposed to be the messenger.
Right.
So I think there's probably someone who could be the messenger, who could articulate it better, who could put it in terms of people will follow. But I do think that there is an issue within the Black community where we have gotten to the point where we feel as though being separate from the opposite sex or same sex, or being separate from each other, is more important than actually building together. And it's crazy.
Right.
So, but I have a funny one. We're gonna leave on this funny one.
All right.
And I'm gonna ask this question: as a business owner, would you hire Black people? You laughing? I'm gonna give a situation, and it made me really think about that.
I would, depending on what the situation you about to bring upon. Okay.
So, with the Hardys today.
Oh Lord. Go ahead.
And it was 5 people working. 2 Black males, 1 Black female, 1 older white lady, and 1 similarly young Black white kid. So I went to a drive-through, gave my order. So the Black guy said, "Hey, I pull up front. We'll bring it out to you." Okay, cool. So at that time, it was only 2 people. 1 person who was already in the store getting his order, and me. So this lady came up behind me, which didn't make sense for me to pull up because I was the only one to drive through. But she pulled up. They tell her the same thing. So she parks right beside me. So we're sitting in the parking lot, and they're supposed to be preparing our food and stuff. So I see the 3 Black children goofing off. Right in front of the store, goofing off and everything. So the white lady's doing cleaning and everything, and she had to try to walk around them while they're just goofing off and everything. And the white guy, he back there cooking. So the Black girl brings our food out. So she comes to me. She said, "What was your order?" So it's only 2 people at the restaurant right now. Right. So you mean to tell me that you don't have my order? I'm like, okay, so this is my order. So she hands me the bag. Hands the lady her bag. And before I could say something, the lady said, "Where's my fries?" So I was like, okay. I looked at my bag. It's like, I don't have fries either. So she's like, "Y'all don't have fries?" So at this time, I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is bullcrap. Then I don't have the sauce for my nuggets. And so the lady went in there because she needed sauce too. So she went in and got her sauce. She came into the car. So I went in there and got my sauce. And while I'm in there, the white lady had to tell them, "Hey, you got somebody up here. Y'all cursing too much and this, that, and third." Because they're too busy playing around. Right. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I'm not going to hire Black kids.
Okay. I can see that.
I'm not. And yes, I am racist.
And
I don't care what you say. You produce me a responsible black kid, I will hire them. For me to hire a black kid, I would have to sit down with their parents.
Yeah.
And I would have to say, I need to know what you did at home to make this person worth working here. That's an embarrassing situation because that white lady impression of black people is what she's working with right now.
Right.
She don't think much of us.
No.
But most importantly, you don't think much of other people who come in the store to give us great service. What bothered me the most is that you would give your own people the worst service. And I sat back in, I thought about certain things, my interaction with black people in general, when it comes to them working. They act like you're bothering them, but you're supposed to do what I say. I hate to say people like that, but technically you're supposed to do what I say.
Okay.
That's a fact. If you walk in the store, if you working in that store, you're supposed to do what I say.
Hey.
That's like if my man son comes into my office,
right.
I'm supposed to do what he says. That it just is what it is. Right. Yes, you're supposed to do what I say. If my order's messed up, you're supposed to fix it. Why are you acting like it's a problem? When I'm telling you mess up my order, you're mad at me. Why do I have to hear about you having children? I'm not the baby daddy.
What?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Well, let's stop there. Let's go no further. Let's put it this way: no home training, no proper training at the workspace. Because nowadays they just hire folks. They really don't do
right.
Because either way, fast food is customer service. That's one thing I hate. That's why I no longer work. Try not to work fast food. After the first job I had, it's customer service. So nobody showed them properly how to conduct themselves at all time, and nobody's putting their foot down, disciplining them because they're doing it. If they're doing it like that, they've been doing it since they started working there. And nobody's going to put it down. And like I said, no home training whatsoever because you're there to do a job. Period.
I agree.
So
I know I might end up hiring black people. I'm not going to go that far. However, it does make me wonder because I started looking at my interactions and I'm like, you know what? Even in some black establishments, it's like,
yeah,
you treat, and this is what really made me think about it. And I think this is the problem. I think this section of population or this section of life is having. You used to appreciate people spending your money with you because you understood that this may be the only time they spending their money for the month.
Right.
You understood that they earned their money and they won't, and you wanted to give them the best service.
But it goes back to saying it's a given. Now, like I said, because you think about it, you go in the mall nowadays, nobody says, "Hey, how are you doing? How can I help you?"
Right.
They let you walk around. The only time I speak to you is when you walk up. Oh, can I get this size shoe? That's the only time they'll speak to you. They'll interact with you when it's time for you to spend money on their goods. Not keep in mind in that you need to go online and find the same item.
Right. I could get rid of the middleman.
Right.
And see, and that I guess that's what my issue is that's what I'm seeing. And it's like, you don't know what this person has done to want to spend money with you, especially when it comes to food. They eat at home.
Right.
But they're choosing to spend their money with you.
Right.
And the least you could do is just show gratitude.
That they showed up.
Yeah.
Give you a job. Because remember, if there's no money coming in, you're no busy being there working. So.
Yeah. But that's what we call it a night. We're going to 3 shows a week. So you stay tuned. You're going to see us doing more shows. We're going to be doing a lot more stuff. It's going to be exciting. Got anything?
That's it, man. Just check us out. Share, subscribe. Let the world know we out there.
Yes.
And input, lots of input. We're welcome to input.
Open input. Definitely.
Comment, please.
Definitely. And if we need to, we'll have a poll and some strippers in the background that gets your attention. That's what we're about. The news. William Cohen, Marshawn Taylor, and we're out.